What up?
Ready and willing. Is that like something from Marvel Avengers?
No, I think it's just a catchphrase.
Ready and willing?
Yeah, like I'm ready and willing to do it.
I've never heard that. Huh.
Really?
I'm going to do that from now on. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 18th issue of Why Am I Nerd presents Yoda Comics. Where each and every week, we get together to talk all things comics. From old to new, fan theories to what ifs, we've got you covered. I'm Cameron James, and joining me, as always, the baby voice, Matthew Ferreira.
Baby voice?
Yeah, bro, sorry.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
You dropped that golden voice when you sabotaged my motherfucking team like a bitch.
I didn't sabotage anything. You just need to catch up on the latest 4th and 1 to understand what happened.
No way, dude. I had your little narcs that were on the show. Come on, man. All I had to do was go up to them and be like, which one of you bitches sabotaged my team? And they're like, I didn't do it. I'm not the commissioner. Son of a bitch. And the thing is, I don't even know what you changed my name to. I couldn't even understand what the hell it said.
I forget. There's something about Batman.
No, it wasn't.
No, you changed it back already.
Yes, I'm the Golden Buckeyes.
Golden Buckeyes.
Because that's just how it's going to end up being.
Ugh.
But not to talk sports. Today was a rough day in fantasy for everybody.
Today was a rough day in sports, just all around. I'm not. Hello, can I do this podcast? Can I podcast? My dog's all worked up.
It's all right. She could be on the show if she wants.
Leela, what are you doing?
Wait, did she just jump off the bed, on the bed, the back off the bed?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Can we do a quick pause? I'm just gonna see if she's okay.
Well, yeah,
cool.
Sure.
All right, yeah. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Never a dull moment.
Never, dude. Never.
The Why Am I a Nerd family.
Sit.
She's already sitting.
Paw.
Oh,
Paw. There you go.
Well, that was a very unique way for us to start the show.
Seriously.
And I'm not going to edit that. I'm going to keep that.
You're going to leave the trash of my room for right now. The day I come back from a bachelor party, my room's all destroyed. It's always destroyed. Let's be real.
I'm not in the bat cave today. I had to relocate because I can't even get in there. Shit all over the floor. I was like, God damn it! It's a fucking pain in the ass. But I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, it's a rough day in football world for everybody.
Yeah. A
lot of injuries, which was weird.
Dude, it's crazy the amount, and to like major players, like.
You think it's because they didn't do like preseason?
Preseason, it might have been. I mean, it might have played a role. There was a lot of injuries like league wide today, so people probably coming out playing hard after having little practice. Their bodies aren't used to it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Huh. Who knows?
Yeah.
So have you been catching up on the boys yet, or no?
No, actually, I haven't yet since I was out of town all weekend, which would have been my like prime time. Usually I like to watch those like Sunday morning-ish or like Saturday morning if I'm not doing anything.
It's just like.
Not loving it?
I'm not, no. Because it's I just don't like, and I gripe about this all the time. I hate when they change comics or books like so significantly. Like, and they just did something in the last episode that was just like so out there. Like, oh my God, like. Why? Why do you continue to do this? Like, you have the script, you have it. Now, granted, we did say last week that we both agree, do not read the boys.
Yeah, don't do it to yourself. It's not worth it.
I mean, I guess like if you had nothing to do for like 3 months and wanted to take your time, then do it. But the fact that you got Xbox coming out soon, you got the new PlayStation coming out soon, like. Don't read the boys.
Not worth it. It's not worth it.
100% not. I mean, there's so many other good comics you could be fucking reading that it doesn't make any bit of sense to even remotely try to do that. But whatever. Who knows? Once again, this is Why Am I Nerd presents Yoda Comics, where you can follow us each and every week on Instagram at Why Am I Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I a Nerd, and listen to new issues every Tuesday on your favorite podcast service, or catch new issues on Monday, which I might not be able to get this up in time for tomorrow because I got a shit ton of stuff to do and I'm leaving tomorrow, but
oh shit,
I will try my absolute best. But you can follow us on YouTube at a non-verified account because we've only been doing this for 3 months and we're fucking still not verified. So.
Can you guys please just like, subscribe, maybe just a little bit, pretend you like us?
I know. Yeah. I mean, I noticed our Instagram, we got like 70 new followers the past.
We're picking up.
Yeah. And I guess that's what happens when you actually like
follow people.
Yeah, and not just be like dickheads about it. So, but anyway, Matt, tell us, September 23rd, what do we got coming from our local comm shops? From
All right.
the 7.
The 7.
There's still the 7.
Even though we're not the biggest fans. From DC, we've got The Flash, number 762. We've got Action Comics, number 1025. We've got Aquaman, number 63. We've got Batgirl, 49. Justice League Dark, number 26. Batman and Superman, number 12. Shazam, number 15. Batman Beyond, number 47. Dark Knight's Death Metal, Speed Metal, number 1. Suicide Squad, number 9, Books of Magic, 23, The Last God, 9, Looney Tunes, number 256. From Dynamite, we've got Vengeance of Vampirella, number 10, Vampirella Red Sonja, number 10, and The Game of Thrones Clash of Kings, number 7. From Image, we've got Gideon Falls, 25, Undiscovered Country, number 8, Low, 25, Black Magic 14, The Goddamned Virgin Brides number 3, Savage Dragon number 252, Nomen Omen number 9, Bliss number 3, 20XX number 6, The Afterrealm 3. From IDW, we've got Batman and the Max, Arkham Dreams, The Lost Year Compendium, and that's going for $8. How is this coming from IDW and not DC? Do you have any insight for that on us?
No, I didn't know anything about this until literally I just saw it the other day, or today when I was putting this up because I was in a rush to do it, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like,
"Yeah, that's super random."
But that's the same thing with sometimes Marvel stuff's picked up by who doesn't who.
I think it's IDW too, isn't it? Don't they have that Spider-Man book? I thought it was.
Oh yeah, which is weird because I don't understand why.
I don't get how they can do that.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's no different than Marvel and DC having crossovers.
I guess so.
But I don't know much. I have the Max in there. I have some stuff in the.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really know what he's about.
Well, we've got Sonic the Hedgehog number 32 and Kanto number 1, The Hollow Men 2. Then from Marvel, The House of Ideas, we've got Venom number 28, Daredevil 22, Spider-Man number 4. X of Swords, Creation number 1. That's going for $7. I know that's supposed to be Cross of Swords, but the way it's spelled here, I'm going with that.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Dr. Doom.
Real quick, not to cut you off, I fucked up. It's Kanto 2, the Hollow Man number 2. Oh. Kanto 2, the Hollow Man number 2. I don't know why I put 1. So that was
no worries.
But go ahead, sorry.
We've got Dr. Doom number 7. Star Wars Bounty Hunter number 5, Juggernaut number 1, Immortal She-Hulk number 1, Spider-Man Noir number 4, Spider-Woman number 4, Maestro number 2, Fantastic Four Antithesis number 2, Tales of Suspect 39, Facsimile Edition, True Believers Men Soul Sword number 1, True Believers Men Saturnine number 1, and Marvel Previews number 4. From Dark Horse, we've got Skulldugger and Skeleton Boy number 4 and Hidden Society number 3. From Boom Studios, we've got Wind number 4, Power Rangers Draken New Dawn number 2, Angel and Spike number 14, and Unkindness of Ravens number 1, Wicked Things number 5, Mega Man Fully Charged number 2.
I was really surprised that the Looney Tunes is only on issue 256. I feel like they should be like on issue like 4,
I mean, I guess it depends on how they're producing and how often they go and which line it is. I feel like they were cartoon characters, not comic book characters, you know?
Yeah.
So that might be a factor too.
So what do you think then, because they're going back to She-Hulk number 1. What do you think about this whole She-Hulk Marvel series that they're doing?
I mean, I'm okay with it. The chick they picked is pretty good. I feel like I've seen her in a couple things. Definitely, I think it was Community was the big one, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I looked her up exactly. Community? But I'm not. Yeah, I think it was Community. It's Allison Brie, right? Is her name?
No, the girl that's playing her is Tatiana Maslany.
Oh, really? Maybe I missed that. Hold on. Let me look it up right now.
Yeah, She-Hulk, Tatiana Maslany lands lead role in new Marvel.
Maybe the other one was just ruined. I don't know who this is.
I have no idea who this chick is. I guess my thing is like, why would you pick this character out of every character you have? You pick She-Hulk? Like,
because what Marvel is clearly trying to do, they've been alluding to this, I think, since for longer than this. But I think the first big sign we saw was in Avengers Endgame when all the female characters walked together to back Captain Marvel. I think they're trying to push for a female version of the Hulk, female version of the Avengers, like all female, which is fine. I just hope they do it right. You know what I mean? Because that's something where they could really mess up sticking the landing. It could come off inauthentic, which is kind of the vibe I got from Endgame, where it's just like all these characters haven't met and they're all of a sudden just working together to back Captain Marvel, who quite frankly didn't need the help. So it came off a little bit disingenuous, but it was a cool scene nonetheless. So we'll see. I think they're trying to build towards something similar, but I have no idea who this actress is.
Do you think that they messed up then doing kind of implying, but do you think they messed up then with Thor Ragnarok? Not like it was a bad move by any means, that's what I'm saying, but that they kind of did some Planet Hulk stuff in there where she's like, isn't she like a main focal point in Planet Hulk? She isn't? No,
she's not at all.
Because I only read the first couple issues of Planet Hulk. I think I have it, and I couldn't really get into it, but I thought she was like a big focal point.
No, she's not in it at all, to the best of my knowledge.
Do you think they'll cross her over with the Hulk?
Yeah, I think we're going to see Hulk show up in her show. More like, because it's going on, isn't it going straight to Disney Plus?
Well, that's the thing. You think that they're going to bring Mark Ruffalo into Disney Plus?
Yeah, I think they would for that. I think they've got the money. It's their direct platform. I don't think he would go on TV. No.
So who do you think? So do you think they're going to bring in Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner or just as the Hulk?
I think he's still going to be the way he was in Infinity War. I mean, in Endgame. What just happened?
It was just, I don't know. It just says a score alert. I'm winning by 5 points, and I have 3 players to play. But so you think he's going to be the scientific version of? Yeah,
he's going to stay as Professor Hulk, I think, in the upcoming films and stuff like that.
Because that was a neat little thing that they did with the turning him into that. Because that they show him like that at the end of, right? At the end of
no, it's the beginning. It's the beginning of Endgame.
It is?
Yeah. It's pretty early.
I thought it was the freaking end of it. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen that, but
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be coming up on Hero Cinema soon.
Well, speaking of Hero Cinema, we watched fucking God. I have to edit that tomorrow. We watched fucking. I don't even know what the movie was called. What was it called? What was it stupid?
It was it's the Toxic Avenger #2.
Not to mention, we watched it bootlegged.
Oh God, it was so. But thank God, we watched it bootlegged. Oh, but that was so.
That bad. May have been the worst movie I've ever seen.
I actually really think it was the worst movie ever. Like, I didn't think Catwoman was going to be anywhere near getting dethroned, but bro, they did it.
That was beyond awful.
So bad. It was so bad.
And the thing was, like, at least the first Toxic Avenger had like some sort of like plot. Like, okay, guy gets made fun of, guy turns into a fucking psychopath.
Monster is like kind of killing people. You're like, whatever. Like, yeah. I get it. It's like kind of campy. It's kind of dumb.
Kind of like a Beauty and the Beast storyline too.
No, that's Tales old as time.
Yeah, but it kind of fell that way. And then this one was like, he's in China.
It's Japan, I think.
Japan, trying to find his dad.
Trying to find his father, who he feels bad because major spoilers. He feels bad because he thinks he killed his father. Then he comes back later and finds out, oh, that wasn't my actual father, and his real father just shows up. Like, it's, dude, the movie's not good, but also the main plot of him finding his father was just to get him out of town. Like, it was really so they could dump toxic waste. It's not good.
At least the first Toxic Avenger movie, you could like smoke weed, eat an edible, get drunk, and have some laughs with it. This is just bad.
This is bad. Like, this was so rough to get through. Like, it wasn't even really laughable bad. It was just like, there might have been one scene where we laughed, and I can't even remember what it was.
I mean, it's to the point now where, so we rechanged the titles of, so if you guys are looking for Hero Cinema, you can just type in, should you watch, and then pick the movie that we've done. So should you watch The Toxic Avenger 2, now, or I forget how I worded it, but and then just type in Hero Cinema and it pops up, so you guys can check that out. But moving on to our Who Asked for This segment of the week is actually more not of a specific character. it's more of bullshit that comic books do, and comic book, I guess you could say, more publishers do this. DC released the Endless Winter fall list. And man, why the fuck do you have, like, you can do an event. Just make the event and just do Endless Winter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The reading order for fucking Endless Winter.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
So just so everybody knows, if you want hold on, let's find out. Let's figure out where this starts.
Let's go straight to it.
So it starts off with you have to read Endless Winter 1. Okay, cool.
Makes sense.
Then you go to The Flash 767. So now I got to pick up another Flash book, even though okay.
Don't read The Flash. Yeah.
Don't read The Flash, right. Then you go to Superman Endless Winter #1 special. Then you got to go to Aquaman 66. Then you got to go to Justice League 58. Then you got to go to Teen Titans Endless Winter special. Then you got to go to Justice League Dark. Then you got to go to Black Adam Endless Winter special. Then you got to go to Justice League Endless Winter #2. And that finishes it.
That's incredibly unnecessary.
This is what okay, so besides the fact that now I got to go hunting down what comics I have to read to get the storyline, because if I read 1 and then 2, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? What are they doing? So you write, for instance, Aquaman 66, okay? What the fuck happens in issue 65? Do they just stop an arc and then just say, hey, let's just put 66?
Yeah, let's just do this. And then it just picks up again right after. Like, I'm not sure how they do that if they play it out. I would like to talk about the second cover for Endless Winter #1 is really, really bad. Like, just really bad. Can you look at that? Can you scroll up to that?
Yeah.
And possibly, I don't know if we're allowed to share this picture, but this is not good. Like, I would not read this comic based on this picture.
You guys can search it. We don't want to get ourselves.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't get ourselves in trouble and share it. But it involves some kind of big frost giant looking dude. He almost has face marking similar to Lobo, funny enough.
It's very like what's that?
It looks like Hellboy and Lobo had a baby, and that baby has frost powers. That's ice powers.
The artwork, like Superman's like his like
the way Superman looks like he just got his neck broken from this punch because his head's like almost completely upside down. It's weird.
They look like caricatures. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, like Batman looks bad. Like, I don't really know what's going on there. And like Wonder Woman looks terrified, which is very unlike Wonder Woman. So I don't know what is really supposed to be happening here, what this is supposed to convey. But the first cover that looks like it has really good artwork, I'm all in for that. Like, that one was cool.
I mean, I'm definitely going to read this. I'm backing out of death metal. Unfortunately,
yeah,
it's just not. There's too much going on. It's way too confusing. I mean, in the standpoint of collecting it, I'll continue to do that. But like, to read it, I'm gonna have to wait for it to come out in trade paperback or
and then go through it all,
because it's just rough. But again, on this topic of nobody asks for comics to be read this way. Like, we want comics, we want it done. Okay, the new thing is,
I want to know exactly where to go. I don't want to need a read list. I don't have to Google what I need to read. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, like, this is weird because I got the second issue, but the story doesn't make sense. Like, oh, it's because you missed 5 alternate comics that came out around the same time. Like, just super annoying.
But they do that with everything. So like, even with like Empire, like, okay, the big Marvel event was Empire, but they had Empire 1 through 6. And then they had Aftermath, but in between it, they had like Empire X-Men 1. Like, why do you need the extra? If you come up with an event and the event takes place in those 6 comics, what is this? What's all this side shit?
Well, the side stuff for that one makes sense because, like, okay, so they're saying like this is a major event, so it's obviously requiring multiple heroes to handle. So what's happening with everyone else during this time? So even though the X-Men aren't a major focus of Empire, like, there's still things happening. These plants are still growing like crazy, all throughout the Marvel universe. So the X-Men are impacted by it, and this is just their reaction to it, even though they're not part of the focus of the story.
Well, the interesting thing too about the Endless Winter situation is Endless Winter 1 comes out December 1st. Okay. Then Chapter 2, which is the Flash 767, comes out December 8th. Chapter 3, which is Superman Special number 1, comes out December 8th. Chapter 4, which is Aquaman 66, comes out the following week, December 15th. Chapter 5, which is Justice League, comes out December 15th. Chapter 6, which is Teen Titans Endless War Special, comes out December 16th. Justice League Dark, which is Chapter 7, comes out the 22nd. Chapter 8, which is Black Adam Endless Winter, comes out the 22nd. And Endless Winter number 2, the finale, comes out the 29th. So you're releasing 3. That's like a money hunt right there.
That really is. And it's right around the holidays. So I wonder if that's a factor too. Maybe they normally see, I don't know, just sales go down around that time. I really don't know. I don't have an insight onto, activity for the major comic book brands, but it could be just like a last minute push around Christmas when they see things getting low, I guess.
The one day you're spending $12 on just for 3 comics. So to read one story arc, you're spending $12, which I'm not opposed to that, but just give me the fucking book. The Detective Comics, 1027 came out this past week, and I picked up it was a $10 comic. Okay, no big deal. It's the 1,000th Detective Comic, starting with Batman, which last week actually said it was the 100th. I don't know how I'd missed that terminology, but whatever. I mean, I guess the point is just put it in fucking order. This is a fucking headache now. Now we got to go searching around for it, and
it's all extra that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of bullshit. But anyway, moving on. Matt, why don't you tell us what's hot off the press courtesy of the Planet Bugle this week?
So first up, we've got Elsewhere Marvel, which comes to us from CBR.com. So Marvel 1602 is the best Elseworlds comic DC never made. Interesting, because I've read 1602 and I was into it. It was a little weird, but it was cool.
What is it about? So we all know.
Okay, so Marvel 1602 is a unique miniseries from Neil Gaiman and Andy Kubert, which takes inspiration from DC's popular Elseworlds imprint. So basically, this is if the Marvel universe took place about 400 years earlier.
And Neil Gaiman is the guy that did American Gods.
Yeah, he's really good. He's great with stuff like this. This is a cool idea because it was as people are coming to the new world of North America. They're discovering that they have different superpowers or influence in different ways, and it's kind of the age of heroes begins. So as opposed to.
I mean, I like the Elseworld stuff. I think it's a cool idea. Go ahead and continue with this. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. That was pretty much it. I was going to say it's just kind of cool seeing how they reimagine some of the characters. Like Daredevil's got a pretty big role in it. Like he's obviously still blind. Professor X still has a school. Spider-Man's there. Nick Fury is there. I can't remember what they do with Iron Man.
It is
I'm going to look that up right now.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like I'm just looking at stuff right now. I don't know if there's a trade paperback to this or not.
There should be.
But I think the Elseworld stuff is actually really cool. I know that they have Batman Elseworld, which I have not read, unfortunately. And I know that they did a really cool stuff with the Justice League Elseworld, where they had, they brought like Jack the Ripper involved, which I thought was, I think Wonder Woman goes after Jack the Ripper. There's a whole thing about it. There is a trade paperback of, which is really weird because the trade paperback for Marvel 1602 is $2 on Amazon used. You can either get $2 on Amazon used, $31, or you can get a $27 hard copy. I don't know why the used one is $2 with a $3 shipping. Maybe I'll buy that. I mean, for $2, why the fuck not?
Why not?
So the premise of this was literally taking in 1602 because there is a photo right here. I don't know if you see the photo. Do you know?
I do.
You know is this supposed to be Thor? This guy in the back looks like a blonde.
No, that's Captain America.
That's Wait, what?
Yeah, you got to read it.
Oh my god! So do you know who the characters are here in this photo? From
what I can remember,
I'm assuming Tony Stark is The guy right here with the hat on, the goatee, and the little.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna go from the right side of the image to the left.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, the left side. I don't know why I said that backwards. The left side of the image to the right. Sorry. So that's Peter Parker or Peter Parquois. I think his name is something weird.
Oh God.
I think this might be Reed Richards. I'm saying from the hair.
Really?
Maybe.
Okay. Then we can assume that the next guy.
I think that's Tony Stark. Yeah.
The bald-headed dude.
Professor X.
Daredevil's obviously the obvious one with the.
Yeah, I forget who this girl is. She might be unique to the storyline. I'm not sure who she is.
She's probably Elizabeth I of England.
Maybe. Who knows?
That's
I don't.
No. I think her name is Virginia Dare, the daughter of Ananas Dare. I think that's who it is. It makes sense.
And then you got Captain America. Then you got Nick Fury, and
is that a chick?
Maybe no. I think that might be Bruce Banner.
Oh, because he's green.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
What's the artwork like?
It looks like this. This picture, yeah.
So is it tough? Is it a tough read though, or not that bad?
I didn't think so, but it's been a while since I read it. It's been a really long time since I read that.
I'll have to pick up again. It's only freaking $2.
Yeah, $2. Fuck it.
I mean, with $3 shipping, so I think you can afford $5. But yeah, I think that they should probably make more of this type of stuff. I mean, the elsewhere of Gotham by Gaslight is really cool with Batman. He's going after that's Jack the Ripper, and it ends up being somebody that you wouldn't expect it to be. But it was a great. Like I think the elsewhere is really really cool. I'm actually kind of surprised that, like, because it just popped up here on the photo as I was flicking through, like, that they didn't do any sort of like Miles Morales type of elsewhere stuff. Like, would you consider like House of M elsewhere?
No, that was technically in the 616 continuity. I mean, there's the alternate world where all that like still exists would be an Elseworlds type thing. But as far as the main Marvel line is concerned, that was an event that occurred in the 616 and then had to get reversed.
Who reversed it?
Scarlet Witch.
Oh, she just went back and did it?
Yeah, basically.
Because I believe that the House of M and the House of X are...
two different things, I'm pretty sure.
They are?
Yeah, I don't think...
I thought House of X was a sequel, but I could be...
Is it?
I could be completely wrong. But... Oh, somebody is Doctor Strange in that photo.
Oh, really? That's probably the guy with the goatee then.
So maybe Iron Man's not in it.
He might not be in it.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't see. And David Banner. Yeah. Oh, it looks like a cool comic. Well, maybe we'll pick it up and we can reread it and do it for a future comic of the week because it does look like a cool read and something I'm definitely would like to check out.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
All right, let's see what we got next here. We've got controversial comic book covers. Gotta love these.
Yeah, and some of them are like, I don't get what makes them controversial. Obviously, people, you guys listening can't see it, but we will tell you which ones they are, and you can go look at it.
Some of these are pretty rough.
So starting with number 15 is X Statics 15. What is the controversy in this? Am I missing piece?
I think because it's Princess Diana.
Oh, but is there another half of this picture that we're missing?
No, I don't think so. It's fans of Ecstatics understood the book never took itself too seriously, so using a resurrected mutant version of Princess Diana as the comic's newest superhero wasn't out of the realm of possibility. In 2017, it may be difficult to understand the big deal here, but in 2003, just 6 years after her death, the decision didn't go over very well. It didn't help that the story was called Die, like her nickname, Another Day. So yeah, I can see where that was.
So it looks like they edited her in because if you Google it, the original cover is with a brunette woman, and the title says Back from the Dead Part 2. So I don't know what that...
Oh, wait a minute. The resulting media pressure caused Marvel to pull the cover before the comic was published, using fictional pop star Henrietta Hunter as opposed to Princess Di. So this was
okay. So they cut her out and put this new chick.
Yeah, and replace it.
She's jumping over some guy with like a fucking butt chin and eyes blowing out of his head. So I don't know what. That's probably a good point taking that one down.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that.
So the next one we have is The Divided State of Hysteria #4. Again, some of these these pictures are cut out, so I have to
free happy ending with any homestyle meal.
What?
No, I'm reading the sign in the background. Free happy ending with any homestyle meal.
So do you see what the actual cover is?
No.
Okay, so I don't know if I can share my screen. I wonder if we would get taken, or this would be considered fraudulent if I share the screen. I don't think it would be a big deal.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out.
All right, you can see my screen?
Yep.
That.
Wait, what is?
You see it?
Yeah, I see it. I'm looking for.
Yeah, but you like the guy hanging?
Oh, I can't see the full thing. All I can see is just the top half of it. It doesn't show anyone actually hanging.
Wait, which screen are you seeing? Are you seeing this screen? Oh, you're seeing the wrong screen. Hold on.
I was like, what else am I supposed to be looking at?
No, hold on. I got to get the right screen. Share this screen. Which screen do you see?
Oh, wow.
You're seeing this screen now, right?
That's not okay.
Yeah.
That is not okay.
So it is pretty much a man hanging from
some kind of sign. It looks like did his balls get chopped off? Yeah, they definitely did.
His balls are chopped off.
Wow.
It's free happy endings with any homestyle meal. And yeah, I don't know what they were thinking doing this.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Then we get to.
So I'd say the summary for this. The cover for this comic was not only too incendiary to be pictured here, but was found to be so offensive that it was pulled before the book was even released. It depicts a Pakistani man castrated and hanged with a racial slur on his chest. The cover was obviously attempting to make a statement, but no one seems to be sure of what kind.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Then we get to number 13, which is Teen Titans. And I, again, don't understand why.
You don't really get what the issue is here.
Unless I'm missing something.
I guess it's focused on the sexism, the inherent sexism in the industry. It was controversial.
Oh, because how big her boobs are?
I guess so. Hold on a second. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, even if because
CBR Chanel Aslan gave the cover a major dressing down for everything from the character's designs to the team placement to Wonder Woman's apparent breast implants, all valid points that she backed up with facts about the industry and their intended audience. So to a discussion so volatile that CBR chose to shut down their forums. Wow. Aslan received both rape and death threats, all because she was a woman who chose to question the way that a teenage girl was portrayed on a comic book cover, which, by the way, wasn't even the point of the article. Wow.
I mean, her boobs are unnecessarily designed.
Yeah, but I guess it's crazy to me that many people started a fight about it over a comic book cover. Like, that's insane.
We'll look at number 12.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much.
Sorry, I'm reading through this whole thing because I thought it was going to be a different. It's about Lobo, but it's not about the Lobo that we know.
Oh, that's what I thought. It was about. No, yeah. I thought no. Go ahead. I thought that's what it was about. Pretty much, it's I guess I don't know. Again, you're going to take the reins of this. I'm not too sure what they're considering.
So it's controversial because of the time it was produced. So what we're looking at from this that was just described here, he was the first black man on a comic book cover. So up until that, according to the read here from Screen Rant, up until that point, African Americans were largely portrayed as terrible stereotypes in comics. Lobo was undeniably a hero, a gunslinger bringing justice to the Wild West. Sadly, it would seem that the world was not yet ready to embrace this character, and the comic was canceled after a mere 2 issues due to lack of sales. So it's saying it's more controversial because it, brought about a conversation. I guess it was too early, so to speak. But that's why it's controversial. So makes sense. So it's not there for a bad reason, but
What's the next thing we got on this list?
I had a feeling this one was going to be up here. I remember all the conversation about this, the Batgirl number 41 variant. And I had a conversation with my friend when this comic came out, because this pictures Joker standing with around Batgirl, like his arm around Batgirl. He's got the gun in his hand, and there's a smile and blood drawn on her face, and she looks, terrified. And this is an obvious homage to the time that he paralyzed her. So a lot of people drew issue with the fact that she was scared and it looks terrified. There's a tear coming down her eye against an enemy that she should have had the power to best, I guess. Because it's clearly an homage to the Killing Joke, but people took serious issue with the fact that she wasn't able to defend herself, and the way that portrayed women, which I can understand. It does make sense for her character to be kind of able to defend herself, and she shouldn't have been as scared. So they released a variant cover where she's a little bit more daring, kind of ready for the threat. But I understand why people had an issue with it, but it didn't personally bother me as much because I knew what they were referencing, and I thought it made it almost intriguing. Like, it's just like another showdown between them, which I honestly don't even think was the point of the book, which is obviously an issue too.
Yeah, I didn't think that there was that big of a deal either when I first saw it, but I mean, I guess from the standpoint of I thought it was fine. I mean, I don't think that I personally didn't feel like it was portraying women as not being able to defend themselves. I didn't get that vibe.
So here's the sorry to cut you off, but going through Screen Rant's write-up, the problem said generally these covers are commissioned and approved by people who aren't working on the actual book, and oft times those in charge of them don't know much about the comic itself. Albuquerque, the artist, meant his cover as a creepy homage, but for many Batgirl fans, it was just a cruel reminder of Barbara's terrible tragedy, which didn't really match the direction of her New 52 reboot. So it was kind of spitting in the face of everything the character had been doing recently, was everyone's big issue with it.
I mean, I actually had more of an issue of them making her not, and I don't mean this in a bad way whatsoever. I don't like how they made her not paralyzed anymore. They kind of took away the Oracle thing. Like, that was her. Like, they kind of made this character around that. And I thought that was a really cool move to give somebody she was running the show. Like, she was pretty much the number one person on there. And then they kind of just now she's just back in the Bat family, fine, but she's just another figure. Like, she was more important, I felt, as Oracle than she is as Batgirl. Like, it's not necessary.
I agree.
In my opinion. The next one is the Astonishing X-Men number 51, which I think that the fact that they said this is controversial is fucked up.
It's a gay marriage.
Yeah, I don't understand why this is such a big deal. It doesn't have it shouldn't it should not be on this list. I'm gonna tell you that right now. There's no reason this should be on this list.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say
there's nothing really controversial about this.
Yeah, I'm gonna say fuck that, and let's move on to the next one, Life of Archie 36. Again,
did he get stabbed?
He looks like he's just shot. All right, so the shot was meant for the first openly gay character in the Archie comics, recently elected Senator Kevin Kelly, who campaigned on gay gun rights. So,
gay rights and gun control.
Oh, okay.
Not gay gun rights, but yeah.
So I guess the controversy is the fact that he shot. Again, not.
Yeah, the character's image design was announced prior to the issue's release. Wow, so they actually killed him with that.
Yes.
Huh. Wow.
Then you have Wonder Woman 178, which is Wonder Woman was created to be a feminist icon, but decades of being written and drawn solely by men who often misunderstood her hasn't always yielded the best results. Comics legend Dennis O'Neil and Mike Sikowski had one of the best intentions when they took over Wonder Woman in the late 60s. However, that was meant to update the character for the woman's lib generation. Was a pretty epic fail. This cover was supposed to introduce an independent, empowered Wonder Woman, although the big changes in the issue were primarily related to Diana's wardrobe. The next issue would see her giving up her powers, open a mod boutique, and become a martial arts expert. So I don't understand what the issue is on this one.
I guess. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just literally just saying I don't understand what the issue is.
I guess because it's throwing away what you used to be. I mean, I'm not really sure either. I guess because it's probably more of a product of the times. You know what I mean? Like we obviously weren't alive to know the climate in the late '60s, but I guess in that moment it was a bigger deal than we're seeing it as now.
Yeah, I mean number 7, crime suspense stories number 22. I completely agree. That
this is a little bit much.
This is fucked up, especially because they said this is 1954. It's pretty much a gentleman holding an axe with a woman's head cut off. And I agree. Yeah. If you saw this nowadays, you probably wouldn't
think much of it. Yeah, 1954, that's like horrifying.
Yeah. Iron Man 128, I don't see why this is a controversy by.
Oh, this is because I think this was the first time they really dealt with alcoholism in comics.
That's whatever. Number 5 is Spider-Woman #1 variant. And if you look at if you blow this up and actually look at what it is, I'm assuming they're only making this a big deal because of the position that she's in. It's pretty much, and the fact that you can completely see her. Yeah. So pretty much.
Yeah, she's basically just naked on the side of a building. Like that is.
She's not really naked. She has clothes. I mean, she has clothes.
She has clothing on, but it's the clothing is just like they colored it in. It doesn't look like she's wearing clothing. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like her outfit is so. I'm saying that's definitely. I mean, it definitely factors in. It's she's in a provocative position, and the way they drew her outfit, it looks like she's not wearing anything. Like it's very suggestive.
Number 4, Green Arrow and the Green Lantern, which is pretty much DC attacks youth's greatest problem, drugs.
So yeah, it's similar to the Iron Man one.
Yeah, he's shooting up heroin.
Yeah.
Superman 75, which is pretty much a picture of the flag torn apart with Superman, which again, not seeing.
Wait, why was that?
Not seeing the controversy here. And you know what it was? How can they say that this was even shocking? Because didn't they say that?
Oh, so it was more. It was just basically it was an incredibly successful gimmick.
That's what it was.
Like there was no denying the impact of it. Yeah, it's just Superman's cape. It's a torn up flag, just showing like, oh my God, Superman died. But
number 2 is Captain America punching Hitler in the face.
Who gets mad at that?
I don't know.
Shouldn't cause any controversy.
And then the last one.
Oh, it was because Captain America punched Hitler in the face almost a year before the U.S. officially joined the war effort. That's why it was controversial, because we were not involved in World War II yet.
Okay, well, now we know why World War II happened, all because of the Captain America comic. And number 1 is Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, in 106. They pretty much, I'm not too sure what.
Yeah, this should not have been a thing. So basically, this comic book cover is about Lois Lane changing her race for 24 hours so she can be a black woman because reasons.
And this isn't the first time we've seen this, because we also saw this happen with the Punisher, remember?
Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Punisher?
I do remember that.
So I don't understand why they do this, but it is what it is. So those... You have it. You can go check it online. That article is from Screen Rant. You can just type in Screen Rant, most controversial comic covers ever, and you can check out the comics. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Moving on, we're going to go to 8 Marvel arguments, and these are good. We probably should have jumped into this one first, because these are definitely things that are unique in their own way, because it really depends how you look at it. So number 1 is anyone more powerful than the Hulk?
And I think, I was going to say, there's a difference to me between being powerful and being strong. In terms of physical strength, the Hulk, I would say probably, if he gets angry enough, has no equal. But that's his main shtick, Right. Like someone like Thor is technically more powerful. Thor can do more things and on a very high level. You know what I mean? Thor is physically strong. He has got, the magic from his lightning. There's a lot of things Thor can do. So I'd say he's very powerful in that aspect.
Yeah, because that's even what it says here. It says, this is a tough and very long debate, usually resulting in many fans listing off characters like Thor, Hercules, Thanos, Galactus, the Beyonder, the Phoenix, and more. I mean, like you said, if it's in a sense of strength wise, Thanos did kick the shit out of him.
Yeah, but in the comic books, Thanos actively avoids confronting the Hulk because he's like, I don't want to fight him. But he did in the movies. Thanos did whoop his ass.
So that goes back to issues I have with movies and comics, and is like why that's like a pretty major focal point. Then again, that Thanos hides from.
Yeah, but the movies are different. Like I'm okay with it for the sake of telling the story well. You know what I mean? Like it's okay. Like that's not something that really bothered me.
Well, it actually leads perfectly into the next argument: is how closely should comic book movies be based on the comic book stories? And in my opinion, it should be word for word.
I don't think that's you really want to watch the exact same thing, even though you know what's going to happen. I think it's a lot cooler when you don't know exactly how it's going to go, but you're still seeing some of the most pivotal moments brought to light. Like, I mean, I don't think you can. Oh, dude.
No way. Here's the argument, because I call bluff. Okay, granted, you can see what happens, but they are still comic book photos. And sometimes, photo or not, you still see things that aren't necessarily, always seen. I don't understand why. Like, they give you the dialogue, okay? I'm not saying the scene, and I'm not saying that maybe necessarily you can change the characters around, but the dialogue is the story. And the story in a comic is normally spot on. Now, I get it. Some comics you can't really, make into movies very well.
Right. Because there's sometimes a ton of background. So I was just about to say my perfect example of the dialogue being different and being better is The Boys. Because if I had to listen to Huey talk like he does in the comics the entire time, it'd be a rough go. But
the thing is, you can't make that argument because The Boys show and The Boys comic aren't even close to being the same.
There's some things that it's clearly inspired by the comic, like clearly.
What? Dude, watch the second season and have this conversation with me.
Well, I'm saying going from the first season, though, what I have seen, it's clearly inspired by it. They swapped out a couple of characters.
They but what was the other thing? Starlight's complete demeanor. Completely.
Yeah, they had to because she couldn't open the series doing what she did in the comics. Like, they could not.
They did it.
They did it. No, they did it way differently. They did it way differently.
Okay, instead of 3 people, it's 1, but they still did.
Yeah, that's a major thing.
But I'm saying the major thing still happened.
He was creepy about it, and he got kicked off the team immediately after.
Right, which is fine, and they should do that based on American culture now and pop culture, all that stuff, and I get it. Like that's where you have to make the changes sometimes. What's social, mental, what's not. But they changed her demeanor. End of story. Like she's not the same character as she is in the book. I don't know.
They might just be taking it a different direction because she's very not one dimensional, but like kind of flat. Like she goes through some stuff, but you're like, all right, whatever. I get it. This sucks. You're in a shitty situation. This isn't what you thought it was going to be, and you don't have anyone. It was her whole arc, So I think some stuff gets improved because you've also got to think there's a lot more storytellers, a lot more expertise involved. A lot of the times with films, not all the time. If you have someone who actually cares about what they're making, they can improve on something. And I think with a lot of comic books, like sometimes it's great and it's classic, but there's a lot of work that could be done or put into it, or a lot of places where it dropped the ball. So I'm okay with it. I don't think they need to follow super closely because I was genuinely surprised by everything that happened in Infinity War and Endgame. I wasn't expecting that.
In the movie?
Yes.
Well, Endgame was completely different than Endgame and Infinity War was completely different than the book. But the book also had all those other characters that they didn't do. But again, with the Marvel Universe, like they hinted at Adam Warlock. And then they never show him. He never comes out. Like
he's going to come back in Guardians 3.
Yeah, but what was the point of that?
What do you mean for Guardians 2?
No, they should have never.
Oh, you're saying because he should have been a major factor in fighting against Thanos?
He should have been the major factor. Now, granted, I think that they kind of did that because maybe they're like, all right, is Robert Downey Jr. done?
Dude.
Fight off a major character.
Sorry, I just realized how old this article actually was.
I know, we're going to skip the next one. But, I don't think it – I'm the opposite of you. I think it should – when I read the comic, I want to see it put from paper.
I don't think it needs to be that way. I think it's about adapting things well. It doesn't need to be word for word. Otherwise, it's kind of boring to watch it.
That's why people argue about it.
Now if there's a major character inaccuracy, like for example in Dawn of Justice when Batman pulls out guns and starts shooting people, it's like this I have a major problem with.
Yeah, but what about when they completely change a person?
That doesn't bother me. It depends on, as long as that's something that would completely change the core of the character. Like for a while when they were looking into casting Captain America, people were throwing Will Smith's name out there. It's like, that doesn't make sense. For that time in American history, there's no way it would have been a black dude that got the super soldier serum. It just wouldn't have happened. Like, it does not make sense for that character.
Yeah, that would have been a bad casting call.
That would have been a bad cast. Like, even if Will Smith did a great job as a part, it wouldn't have made sense for the character. Like, there's some that it just wouldn't work with.
Yeah, no, I agree. Moving on to the next one is, what's better, Funny and Wild or Dark and Grounded? And I'm going to say what's a split on this.
Actually, you might be surprised. I think it depends on the characters. Some characters lend themselves to Funny and Wild, some lend themselves to Dark and Grounded, and some are balanced pretty well in between.
But there's a difference between Funny and Wild and Dark and Grounded. Like, you're not going to make a Funny and Wild Batman story. It wouldn't work.
What do you mean? They absolutely have.
It didn't work.
Did it, though?
It did not work.
Oh, it did not work. I thought you said did work. No, you're right. It didn't work.
You're talking Batman Forever, right?
And Batman and Robin. Although, you could also argue Lego Batman.
But that's different because that's...
I know it is because it's animated and it's like...
It's like a parody.
Yeah.
That's the right word?
It's satire, parody. Yeah, either works. Either works.
But yeah, I mean, you can't make that. And you could let me rephrase this. You could say that Batman and Batman Returns was kind of more towards the the Funny and Wild aspect of things. But I think they still had the dark twist to it, which is why I think that you're right. I think certain characters fit the role better than others. They're not going to make a dark Spider-Man movie. They're just not going to do it.
They could.
They could, but they won't.
I mean, they could. I think it's something we might see down the line. If they were to do it right, the Black Suit storyline and Kraven's Last Hunt would both be excellent opportunities. Even a Moreland movie, which is like the spider totem hunter, that comes and like tries to eat him. Like, even that could be a darker Spider-Man film where you can still have elements of humor, but overall the tone of the movie is kind of heavier.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, I think you have to, like you kind of said, you have to kind of figure out what the story is.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be based on.
Who the character is, and kind of go from that aspect of things. Because I don't really think it makes too much sense to have a dark version or like a comedic version of like Batman.
It wouldn't fit his character, but it doesn't mean you couldn't have a funny movie. Like Nightwing could be there cracking jokes, or Robin could. There's ways to do it, but yeah, I agree. It depends on the nature of the character overall.
Yeah. Next, was the Mandarin twist in Iron Man 3 a good play? Absolutely not.
It was like funny when I first saw it, and then I got really disappointed. I'm like, really though? Because I was all hyped up for the man. Like, it's one of the few times I've ever actually been surprised in a movie. Surprised to get room, but I was really excited to see him be the Mandarin. I was like, holy shit, they got Ben Kingsley, like he's killing it in the trailers, and then that happens. You're like, really?
Yeah, I thought that was a bad move. I didn't think it made any sense.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I want to talk about before we get into our feature comic of the week is it better to recast a major character or put them in hibernation?
This is another tough one because it depends on the situation. For example, the picture they have here is of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. That I think can be recast. I think they can safely do that if they just wait a couple of years. Batman does it all the time, should be fine. Black Panther, however, is a different story because the nature of Chadwick Boseman's impact culturally, combined with the surprise and shock of him dying and it being recent and there being other movies slated to include his character, it almost feels disrespectful to recast him. You know what I mean? To recast Black Panther when there's other go-arounds they can take, so it's probably going to be his sister taking the reins. Like there's going to be something they do in there, but
I mean, do you think when they recast Wolverine though, do you think that it should be recast in a sense of like a whole new story arc, reboot the story, or?
well, yeah, I mean, I would think it's going to be an entirely new character because it'll be in an entirely new universe. Like with Logan, being the end of the character.
So you think they're going to restart the X-Men universe again?
But in the MCU. It'll probably come in with Multiverse of Madness. This new Doctor Strange movie, he's going to a bunch of different universes. They actually announced today, this is comic book news, that they're looking into Tom Cruise to play an alternate version of Iron Man in one of those multiverses.
That is weird. Why would you take a major actor and do that and not find somebody that's not so?
I think that's part of the draw is that they can get Tom Cruise in it, like to play a different version of Iron Man. When Tom Cruise was, I think, one of their original targets for Tony Stark.
He was?
I think so.
I mean, I'm not against it. Like, I'm not saying not to do that, but I am saying that I don't understand why it needs to happen when, they pretty much they just got rid of him. I mean, we all know that he's not going to stay dead forever, but I don't know. We'll see. That'll be interesting to see how they do that universe and how they bring that in. It would have been nice to kind of see. I guess you have to kind of have somebody that is older. Like you can't really reboot Iron Man again. I mean, everyone knows who he is by now.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think that'd be tough. But before we move on, here's a quick word from our sponsor.
Why Am I a Nerd podcast network has been brought to you by our sponsor, Me Moms. The best breakfast and lunch down the Jersey Shore with 3 great locations in Wall Township, Middletown, and Brick, New Jersey. Me Mom specializes in unique and fun takes on your traditional lunch and breakfast items. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can find more information at www.memoms.com.
Okay. So, are we back?
I don't know. We're back. I think we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Hello?
And we're back.
Hi, we're back.
So, this is, the first part of one of my favorite comic books of all time that we're reading. Our featured comic of the week is The Ultimates Volume 1, Superhuman. This came out in March 2002. It was written by Mark Millar.
It's actually, we're actually doing, we're actually doing Volume 1. So it's both Superhumans and...
we're doing, okay, cool. I didn't know if you finished both.
Yes, I'm good. I'm good to go. Yeah. So... we can do this.
So cool. So we're doing Ultimates Volume 1, written by Mark Millar. Strange beings with incredible powers have risen up to challenge the old order, and ordinary citizens are scared witless. The government's solution? A small but lethal army known as the Ultimates, created to protect us all from newly rising threats to mankind.
So you were hyped about this. This was your hype. This was your thing after The Boys. I will say after The Boys, I'm very glad we read it. I thought it was a very good book. I think that for the amount of hype that you were saying about it, I was a little nervous because I was like, this might not, might not live up.
Not live up to it. The second half is better than the first, which I think the first half had you a little nervous.
100%. I thought that this was a very unique play because I do feel that like the Avengers is more of a family-friendly type of comic book group.
Yeah. And this was...
Yeah, I felt like this was like kind of like they wanted to see what they could do with the envelope and kind of see if they could push it, but they didn't fully commit. I will say this book did not fully commit to...
What do you mean it didn't fully commit?
Like, there's scenes in this and some of the dialogue and, especially at the end, we get, we're going to talk about this whole thing anyway, when Hulk rips off the Skrull's head, just
it's not a Skrull, he's a Chitauri.
But they do call it a Skrull.
What do you mean they call? Oh, well, the Chitauri. Okay, so to back that, the Chitauri was created as alternates for the Skrulls in the Ultimate Universe, but then they borrowed because I think Marvel had plans for the Skrulls when they first started the MCU. The Chitauri were the main bad guys in the first Avengers movie, like they were the army that Loki brings to Earth.
Oh, good.
Just without the shape-shifting powers, but yeah,
but like so. I guess what I thought was like, so you had, I think when this came out, you must have had, like, Mark Millar writes graphic stuff. He did, he did Wanted. He did,
what was the one? He did Kick-Ass. He did. What was the other one that we just read in the beginning? The oh god, Nemesis.
Nemesis. Yeah,
Nemesis.
So he's not familiar with violent comic books. And I guess to me, like, I just wish that they went full mature audience with this. And I understand that Marvel, they do have the Max label, and they could have done that. They could have put this under the Max label.
Yeah, but this was
assuming the Max label was out at this point. It might have not.
I'm not sure. Punisher might have been the only one off on it if it was. But the thing was, what was cool about the Ultimates was it was taking classic characters that you love and putting them in a very, very modern and more realistic, given the nature of what the comic book's about, setting. So it's like you're looking at all this from the lens of, I think it was 2003 we said it dropped. 2002? Yeah. So it's like, it was, this at the time was really cool because it was just like, oh shit, like this is what would happen if it was like real and it was today. It's like, it's a lot more just, like I said, grounded kind of.
Yeah, like I said, if my one gripe is that I just wish it was a little more mature, then I don't think that that's a bad gripe at all.
I don't know. It's pretty mature. People get their arms ripped off. Like a lot of people are.
Yeah, but I still think it was not like the Punisher level, and it wasn't. Like,
no, but that's a very. I see what you're saying, but I don't think they necessarily require the same level of.
No, I agree, but I do think they could have done it. I do think they should have just fully committed, because I do have problems when people don't fully commit to something, and I do think that it wasn't fully 100% committed. What was unique though was Bucky ages in it. He ends up becoming an old guy, and when Captain America first meets him after they do the Captain America thing with him in 1945 when he goes.
Into the ice,
and freezes. They find him in 2002 is when this all takes place, and Captain America and Nick Fury go to visit Bucky, who is much older, and he has cancer. Right? He has cancer.
I think so.
He has cancer.
Yeah.
And he's married to Captain America's fiance Gail, which. Is her name Gail in the movies? No,
it's Peggy in the movies.
That's what I thought. That's why I was a little confused. I was kind of like, and then so that was just a little bit something that threw me off. And then because you Bruce Banner, it's pretty much Bruce Banner, Thor, Iron Man, who you find out actually has a tumor.
Yeah, Iron Man has a massive tumor. Thor initially won't even join the team because he wants the president to up the environmental aid budget. So really the team consists of Iron Man, the Pims, Hank and Janet, who can change size. Am I missing someone else?
Jan's actually a mutant in this.
Yeah.
Is Hank? No.
Hank is not. Is not. Hank dates Shannon, I think, kind of just copied off her abilities, learned from them, and then built out all his technological marvels. The ability to grow and shrink was all based on Jan's mutant ability. And in this, because Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Fantastic Four, and Ultimate Spider-Man all started around the same time. They all have the same kind of controversy level where mutants are a very big, very scary deal to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Which also makes the Ultimates more interesting because part of the reason they were formed was to combat all these like next level superhuman threats. So people are obviously very scared of that. And like you're bringing in a super team and people are like, well, are they mutants? Are they not? Because mutants are a big no-no at this time.
What did you think?
Oh, sorry.
What did you think of the fact that Bruce Banner like injects himself with Cap's blood and the
So what he was trying to do was create the first villain for the Avengers to fight because they were about to lose funding, like it wasn't going well. So he's like, screw it, I'll be the bad guy. Can't let this all go to waste, all my hard work. So he turns himself into the Hulk, which is bad because Hulk is basically Bruce Banner's baser instincts, all the things that he pushes down and tries to keep locked away, including feeling his unrequited feelings of love for his ex-girlfriend, who was on a date with Freddie Prinze Jr. because that was 2002.
So poorly done.
It was 2000. They were just throwing him in there. They were just throwing him in there just to do it. But so he goes on a rampage through the city, and the Ultimates have to take him down. Well, that wasn't the only reason, but yeah. He makes a comment, Hulk horny, yeah. But it's because, like I said, he's been reduced to the baser instinct. So he's like a terrifying monster at this point. rampaging through the city. And it's important to note that he's the Gray Hulk, not the Green Hulk at this point.
That was I was trying to figure out, I was like, is that a color issue or
no? It's a Green Hulk is like the main Savage Hulk. Gray Hulk is what happened in the comics before he became the Green Hulk. So it's like, still noted as a thing, his Mr. Fix-It persona, I believe they call it.
Fair
but
enough.
So he rampages through the city, and then we get some of the coolest moments, I think, in the comic. When Cap comes in and drops a hammer. Cap comes in and drops a tank on him, and then you've got like, that was sick. And then you've got, Thor comes in, it's like, what's that storm? They're like, the president just tripled the national aid budget. You're like, oh shit, Thor comes in, like, it's fucking awesome.
They made Captain America way more badass.
He's super badass in this. He's so fucking badass. Like, when he finds out, so at one point in the comic, this is noted, this has happened in the mainstream too. Hank Pym is physically and emotionally and all kinds of abusive towards Janet, which obviously is not okay. But Captain America, being the straight-laced guy from who he is, finds out after a particularly brutal issue where Janet ends up in the hospital. Captain America finds out, calmly leaves, finds where Hank Pym is hiding, and beats the crap out of him, goads him into taking on his giant man form just so he can beat him at his ultimate, to be like, you're not a man. Which, like, it's badass. Like,
it's kind of disappointing because I feel like Captain America's character it's like, he's a character that I just can't, not that I can't get behind, but he doesn't interest me as a character to read.
It's like the Superman effect.
Yeah, like Superman was kind of like whatever. Like I love Superman Red Sun. I love that book. I think that book is awesome, and I love Superman in Injustice.
It is really good. Oh yeah,
I think he's awesome. But in his regular stuff, he's kind of like, all right, man, you're all about fucking saving the world and the good and people yada yada. And I like Captain America, the same thing. In this one, I was like, okay, he's badass. I would read this Captain America's stories.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they have. I don't think they've turned his.
There's not like an Ultimate Captain America series. Yeah. It's just, you got to read him in Ultimates. We might put up Ultimates 2 on here because I have it somewhere. If I can find it, then that'll be the next one or one of the next ones we do. But we're never reading Ultimates 3. As far as I'm concerned, it ends at Ultimates 2.
That's fine. I also thought that Hawkeye and Natasha had they made Hawkeye look like, okay, let me phrase this. The Hawkeye in the Marvel's video game that's coming out looks like this Hawkeye.
Yes.
Maybe a little less edgy. Like, this guy, he has like tattoos and wears like stupid sunglasses the whole time. But like in the game, I don't think he has it. I'm sure.
I don't think he has tattoos. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have that look. But Hawkeye in this comic was badass as fuck too, and I was like, damn,
dude, Hawkeye does something real cool in Ultimates too, like real fucking,
does he?
One of the most badass things I've ever seen, and it's fully deserved. I'm like, this is amazing.
But the thing is, like, he's not this cool in the movies, and he's not this cool in any other comic. So like, why not?
He was pretty cool in Endgame.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. He's going around as Ronin.
Maybe I just didn't like Jeremy Renner as him.
I mean, that could be a major factor.
Maybe I just thought he was too pretty boy-y. Where like in this, I'm like, all right, this guy's fucking badass, rocking and like when him and Natasha like walking through the they're in the office building.
The bank or the office building, yeah.
Yeah, the bank.
Office building, yeah.
It looked like fucking Neo and what's her face from the
Matrix,
rolling on in. I'm like, oh, shit's about to go down, and like Hawkeye just doesn't give a fuck. He just starts like killing everybody, and Natasha the same thing. I'm like, damn, like this is something that I would read. A storyline with the two of them. I would also fucking watch that, but I just didn't. I don't feel like they've executed those two characters as badass as they were in this.
Yeah, and then I was gonna say one other thing we find out that's cool in this. So going back to the Chitauri, they're a race of shapeshifters. That they're this world's version of the Skrulls. And you find out that their leader is someone who Captain America actually faced off against a lot during World War II. And so they finally get their showdown. They're fighting at the end of this. Oh wait, I'm sorry. There's one part we almost forgot where they think they've tracked the Chitauri down, and they're like, okay, they're on this island. Let's go there. And they go there, and they find out it's a trap, and the entire island gets detonated by nukes. So
the side division of the Ultimates was taken over by
was hacked. Yes,
Chitauri.
So yes, you're like, oh shit, like it's about to go down. Jan's the last one left. And then right before she's about to get killed and eaten, because that's how they can turn into people, and this guy makes a weird comment that he wants to study the female human body. So I'm like, that is vaguely sexual. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a massive lightning storm, and Thor's teleported everyone back. They survived because Tony Stark had some kind of shenanigans, honestly, shield that he put up that protected them all from the blast, and they came back. Like,
and
that
someone references that. Someone says, like, doesn't Iron Man have a shield? And then all of a sudden you just see, like, you see him all, like, come down. And I was like, really? I was like, that was probably a little cheeky.
It's a little cheeky, but it was still whatever. It worked. It was a cool, like, that would be a sick moment in a movie.
Yeah. And then they pretty much, and Captain America is now getting his ass handed to him.
Yo, Herr Kleiser, the name of this guy, is just his healing factor is such that Captain America cannot keep up. So he's getting the crap kicked out of him. And I believe this is when he spouts that amazing, this might be my favorite line from the whole book, where Herr Kleiser's basically telling him just to give up, like, whatever, you can't win, just give up. And Cap points at his skull. He's like, you think this letter on my head stands for France? I was like, I lost it the first time. I was like, that's dope. Like,
that was good.
Captain America's badass as hell.
I'm glad that they never said, like, Avengers Assemble. Because I was like, please don't do that.
Well,
like,
they're not the Avengers in this. They're the Ultimates.
Right. No, I know. But I'm saying, like, there was parts where I was like, are they going to do that? Please don't, like, stick with the Ultimates. I was nervous. I was like, are they going to give them that name? Like,
dude, I will say, it was my favorite thing, speaking of Avengers Assemble, was I love that they actually tease us with it until the final movie. There's that one big moment where everyone lines up and Cap calls the hammer back. You're like, oh, like,
I didn't think it was that cool.
Whatever, dude. Your favorite guy is some nut job who does push-ups fighting people in pajamas. Come on. Talking about real characters here.
He wears a fucking armor.
A fucking armor.
He wears armor, I said. Your boy flies around in a fucking G.
He doesn't need armor. He's wearing a G-string. You ever seen a G-string? Get out of here. Get out of here. You're out of your mind. So anyway, going back to this, we have the fight of the century here, and then Cap's getting his ass beat, and he's like, release Banner. Because Banner's been in isolation, heavily sedated ever since his rampage through the city where the Avengers had to show up and put him down. It's also worth noting that nobody knows who Bruce Banner is in terms of the mainstream media. It's a mystery. So they release him from his solitary confinement. They beat the crap out of him, trying to get him to transform, and it's not working. So what's the next best thing? Let's drop him out of a helicopter onto the site. So, like, of course that transforms him, and he beats the crap out of Clyde. Like, beats the shit out of him, rips his arms off, and then eats his head. And that's how they beat him.
He did the, when he smashed
the thing he does to Loki,
he did
which, like, devastating move. So he does that, and then, in the aftermath of everything, some loose ends are tied up. Hank tries to get a hold of Janet, and she hangs up on him. Yep. She dances with Captain America.
They kiss.
Oh, but the big thing, they kiss. The big thing that I took away from this, though, was Bruce Banner's still in. He's volunteered to go back into his confinement now, and S.H.I.E.L.D. is taking all of his excrement and studying it because they're waiting for pieces of Kleiser to come out, and they have to destroy it so he can't regenerate and come back.
So there's a chance he comes back.
I mean, there's a chance. One of the vials has, like, his eye in it. Like, you can clearly see that, there's pieces of him left.
No, but I thought this was a great read. I thought it was super fun. Not too wordy. Some sections got a little wordy, but it comes with the territory. Yeah. There was enough action. There was enough set pieces. There was enough story movements that kept it like the words. Like, there's some scenes where I just skimmed over, like typical me fashion. After everything happens, after I know the story's about to end, the last couple of pages, I was like, all right, like there's someone's gonna make out, someone's gonna kiss, someone's gonna say we did it. Like, I get it, the hype train. Like, what they didn't do is they didn't set this up for volume 2, which I thought was kind of like.
I don't think they did it on purpose, but volume 2 has a different storyline almost entirely.
Well, maybe they didn't know they were gonna do a second volume. Maybe
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if they. Yeah, I think they're just kind of trying it out.
Yeah, but it was great. I think everyone should definitely go read this. I had a great time doing it. What do we want to read next week? It's going to be a short week, so we should probably do something small.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe we can do Wanted. I think we talked about doing that before.
Do you have Wanted?
Yes.
Is it short? Yeah, it's a Mark Millar book. It should be probably 6 or 7. Let's see. Hold on, let's look it up right now.
Yeah, we could stick with the Mark Millar thing. I think it's only 6 issues. I have it in the back cave.
In the cave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's 6 issues. Yeah,
we
totally cool with that.
We could rip through that. So we'll do Wanted next week. It's a great read. Stays true. The movie stays pretty true to it. If I make a mistake, it might be a little bit different, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, we'll do that. So Before we go, Matt, what is our Shenanigans Engine of the week?
This week, because I've been playing through the Avengers game, it's the Terrigen Mists in whatever form you want to bring them up in. This thing has gotten used and reused a dozen times, I feel like, to give different people powers. Originally it was part of the Inhumans and how they got their abilities. And then now it's kind of being retooled in the books. So it's kind of working with the X-Men who are depowered were using it to get new powers. It's part of, the Marvel game. And it's quite literally an engine of shenanigans. It gives people powers for whatever reason. I can look up the exact background of this. But are you familiar with the Terrigen Mists?
Mm-mm. I have not played the Marvel's Avengers game, and I have no interest in playing the Marvel's Avengers game.
So it's to give you the full background, it's a fictional substance appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. It's featured particularly in stories that features the Inhumans. Okay, that did not tell me what I wanted to know. It is a mutagenic or mutation-causing substance arising as a vapor from the Terrigen crystals, which are able to alter Inhuman biology. So it also comes in. It's a lot of people thought for a while this is how Marvel was going to have their answer, in the MCU to not having mutants. Like they introduced it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too, so some of their people got powers, and it's just like
You're right, they did.
Yeah, and like I said before, they've been used to restore the abilities of depowered mutants. Thanos once sent his son to Earth to look for it. And like Black Bolt released the Terrigen Mist in the atmosphere to make a bomb. So it's like it's crazy. It does a lot of things.
Yeah, whenever I always feel like the one thing too is like when any comic, especially superhero related, like don't make something that's so powerful that's like, oh, the whole world ends, because like the day is going to be saved somehow.
Yeah,
and there's going to be some bullshit.
Well, sorry to correct the Terrigen bomb. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Whatever. Terrigen bomb. The global distribution of the mist caused millions of humans who possessed a latent inhuman gene to undergo terrigenesis and develop powers.
There you go.
Yeah, after spreading across the face of the earth, the Terrigen Mist settled in the form of 2 enormous clouds that roam the planet, propelled by natural wind currents. So, and then it was a toxic substance for mutants. So, yeah.
That's your shenanigans. That's the bullshit that we deal with.
That's that shenanigans, bro.
But one last time, this is Why Am I Nerd and Joe Up Comics, where you can follow us on Instagram at Why Am I Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I Nerd, and listen to new issues every Tuesday on your favorite podcast service, or catch new issues every Monday on YouTube, and just search Joe Up Comics, search Why Am I Nerd.
Because we don't have enough followers and subscribers. Please do it. Please do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
It'll make it so much easier. You know how exciting it's going to be when we finally get there and we don't have to read that part?
And we can just be like, you can follow us on YouTube at
/Why Am I a Nerd?
Yeah. We're like 59. We're 41 people away.
We're almost there, guys. Come on, please.
Our odds are not very good. Our odds are not very good on it. The YouTube is just not anything. I guess we're not pretty.
You should just give it to us by now. We deserve a YouTube. Just give it to us.
Yeah, we have like fucking 80 videos up there.
Yeah, like come on.
Maybe we're just tagging it wrong. Maybe we're just not tagging it.
I mean, we'll take it one day when we both get some downtime. We need to sit down and look through that and retool everything on YouTube. Maybe rename it so it gets a little more easy.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know much about that stuff. That's your end of this company.
Yeah, that's mine. But we've got changes coming in the works, people. Stay tuned.
I'll continue to edit all this shit until I'm blue in the face. So, but once again, we're the Nerds with the Mouse. I'm Cameron James. He's once again the golden voice. I'll give you it again.
All right, thank you, sir.
I'll take back, baby vocals. But you touch my fantasy name again. You sabotage me again.
I didn't sabotage you.
I'm going to be 2-0.
I'm going to be 0-2. So I really know what you're complaining about. Clearly, karma came and bit me on the ass for changing your team name.
This guy, just like Batman, is the goddamn best. Until next time, we're motherfucking out.